My name's Dylan Gray, I'm 21 and I'm from Hertfordshire.
So how did you come to play football?
Well, I started playing football when I was 8. I was playing tennis for 2 years and decided I didn't like it anymore because it was by myself, so I thought, hey, a load of my mates play for Broxbourne Borough, let me try that. And I played, I loved it, and I haven't stopped playing since.
So who were your idols growing up?
My idols, I would say Gareth Bale, definitely one of them, big Tottenham fan. So he was one of my favourite players. I have to say Messi, Ronaldo of course, and controversial one, but I like Balotelli.
So then, for you, what was your first sign of football being more than just like a Saturday league team?
Well, I was playing for Broxbourne, and on one of my first tournaments playing, I think I was about 9 years old, my mum tells me, oh Dylan, someone from Tottenham Hotspur has asked you to come and train. And I was like, Tottenham? I was like, I didn't understand. I thought, you don't play for Tottenham until you're 20. I was 9. Like, no, there's an academy system. And I just turned up and played since then. And it made me realise that I could play more than just a Saturday league.
And what was that like, going to the training grounds?
It was daunting because, like, you're playing on the weekends with your friends, and then suddenly you go to a place where you don't know anyone. It's a bit more serious, no one's really joking and laughing, and everyone is amazing.
What's the difference? So what's the difference in like level and like the experience?
Well, Saturday league, like, I was playing with a good team, we had loads of good players, but like the teams you were playing against, you didn't know whether they're going to be bad, good, mediocre. You turn up at academy level and they're good every single week to like a whole nother level.
Would you say that that's the biggest difference between a Saturday league and an academy side?
Yeah, Saturday is. I think the main difference is discipline from a young age. These 9-year-olds were training 3 times a week, eating the right foods, dieting, whereas I wasn't used to that. I was just eating McDonald's and stuff like that at the weekends. What's
the sort of big mental and physical differences?
I'd say a mental strength is that you have to be confident in yourself. Like, I had a sort of imposter syndrome where I felt like I don't deserve to be here. All these guys are professional, they're fast, they're strong, they're already made. Whereas I felt I was a bit more like, I have to try and work as hard to fit into this.
So you went on to represent a number of academies. Would you be able to talk about the process of being discovered by each of those clubs?
Yeah, so I remember my first one being Tottenham. I was playing a 7-a-side tournament for Broxbourne, and my manager a scout spoke to the manager, who spoke to my parents and said, okay, we've had offers from Tottenham, Brentford and Barnet. I was like, well, that's crazy. Just like playing on the Sunday, Saturday with my friends to like all these clubs coming in.
So you ended up being released by these clubs after you represented them. Would you be able to explain how those sort of situations came to be? Okay,
so I was training at Spurs, I'd say for a good 6 months in the shadow squad. It wasn't the academy, it was just the shadow squad. And eventually, it's like they didn't think I could move up to the academy, so they brought us in. With me and my mum came and was like, oh, unfortunately we're going to have to let you go and you can't come and train anymore. It was quite brutal, but you know, it's how it is.
What impact did that release have on you, like mentally and physically?
Well, at being rejected at such a young age, it's bad because you're young, you're not disciplined, you don't know how to react. But at the same time, it builds your character from such a young age. So like, as a young kid that loves football, being rejected by your favourite club is probably the worst thing that can happen. So it made me realise nothing worse could happen.
And then, so did each release impact you differently?
Yeah, I'd say, because they were at different times. So I was at Spurs when I was about 8 and 9. That was my first let go. That was the hardest one. And then I was at Brentford for a good couple of years. Then I got released at the age of 11. And then Barnet was kind of a gateway to when I actually became signed at Colchester.
So then, after the releases, where did you sort of turn? Did you make any different changes in life choices, career decisions?
Yeah, I'd say after I got released from Brentford, it took a mental toll on me. You know, it was like, do I even want to be serious about this anymore? And I was only 12. I was like, do I want to be serious about this anymore? Do I care? I'm just going to give up. And you just turn to your Saturday league teams again.
So what problems did you face, if any, after being released?
I'd say after I got released from Colchester when I was 16, I had, this was in the December, so I was halfway through my GCSE year. So I had my GCSEs to think about, just being released by Colchester. I got into quite a deep spiral of drinking every weekend, like heavy drinking, house parties, not really sleeping much, and just kind of, not a depression I'd say, but just a slump. And it wasn't good. It took me about 3 or 4 months to get out of it, which isn't a long, it is a long time, but compared to some other people, it's not that bad. But some people get it way worse.
So do you view football differently now that you've seen that side of the game?
Yeah, you realise, like growing up, I'm 21 now, 10, 11 years of playing, you realise how hard it is to actually make it. You make it to a certain level, say 18 scholarship or 16 scholarship, you still haven't made it. Even if you turn pro, you still haven't made it.
And then, were you offered any support by any of the clubs that let you go?
I'd say, because I was actually signed for Colchester. I was playing in the academy at Colchester from 14 to 16. And when I got released after not getting a scholarship, they did give me opportunities at like trial days where scouts would come. But like, other than that, not really.
So was there any sort of mental support?
Not really. It was just the meeting that we had about the scholarship saying you're not going to get it. We've loved having you here. It's kind of like formality, really. They kind of have to say that, but there was no really real support, to be honest, from them.
So would you say that some clubs are better than others when it comes to the release process, or it's all the same?
Yeah, I'd say the more lower league clubs are better than the Premier League clubs because they're less higher up, so they have more personal understanding of how it feels to be released and stuff. Where these Premier League clubs are massive companies that don't have time.
So do you think that these clubs are justified in the way they go about their release process?
I'd say it's kind of a hard one because obviously you have a lot of players that affects them badly and they end up taking their own lives and stuff like that. But at the same time, on the flip side, it can build your mental strength very good because you think, okay, I've been rejected. That does not mean it's the end of the world.
So do you feel that more needs to be done to support players if they're going to be released?
I would say yes, because certain people have certain mental strengths, you know, and not everyone's the same. Certain people need more support than others.
And then is that a problem that lies with clubs or governing bodies like the FA?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'd say both, because obviously the club has the responsibility of looking after each player because they've brought them in, they've asked them to come and they've asked them to leave, so it's their. But the FA, as an umbrella company, should be telling these academies they need to do more.
And then how big an impact was that on your mental health?
I'd say after Colchester, that was about the fourth time I was being released, but that was a tough one because I was actually playing. I was 16, looking to do a scholarship, but I got released and then had to go to sixth form. But at the same time, I feel like it's a good thing that happened because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go to America and play.
And then if more does need to be done by clubs, what would that entail?
I would say maybe start a programme for released players where maybe you still keep in contact with them over a 2-month, 3-month period just so they can find their feet again, make sure they find the club, doesn't matter what level, and then once they're happy and settled, then you can part ways.
So fast forward to present day, what does life look like now for you? Right
now, I've just graduated from my college in America. I've played football for the last 2 years there. I'm taking a break right now because it's a lot of money, so I'm working full time, and hopefully I'll go back next year, finish my last 2 years and get a degree as well as playing.
And have you enjoyed it out there?
Oh, it's been the best experience. I've got friends all over the world. I've got South Africa, Kenya, Belgium, Italy, Spain, Honduras, Mexico and America.
So by going to play football in America alongside college, would you say that you're still very much chasing the dream of being a pro?
I'd say yeah, it's always in the back of your mind, but you realise that being a pro is like it's a minute chance of becoming a pro. Even people that get given professional contracts are sometimes released and they're not pros forever. But in football, there's so many different career paths you can take. Like I know people that do content creating, thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers. You can do coaching, like nutrition, stuff like that. There's so many opportunities in the football world. Profession can't just be narrow-minded on being a professional.